The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here's Brandon.
Welcome back to Old Space Show. I am Brandon, and this is my co-Capitan, Jim.
In space, no one can hear you creak.
Yeah. Space will keep us together. This installment of Old Space Show continues our episode-by-episode travelogue through the second season of Space 1999, where the moon is knocked out of orbit, wandering through outer space, the population of its human-built colony, hoping to stumble upon a new home. Today, we are talking about the 11th episode, Catacombs of the Moon.
Dr. Helena Russell wages a desperate fight for the life of a girl whose husband has visions of Alpha being destroyed by fire. Visions made all the more ominous when a firestorm sweeps toward the moon.
This one is directed by Robert Lynn, written by Anthony Terpeloff. We have guest stars here, James Lawrenson and Pamela Stevenson.
Sure, you have a lot on Pamela Stevenson, but I want to say I recognize James Lawrenson right away as Pink's dad from Pink Floyd The Wall.
Oh, yes.
I saw that. It's a face you don't forget very often. But
Right. Yeah. He's got a, take a drink, folks. Storied career of British television and popular shows like Z Cars, Midsummer Murders, Bergerac, etc., etc. But yeah, the Pink Floyd The Wall.
He was also in The Magic Christian with Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr, that Terry Sellers movie. That's right.
If you're watching Get Back this past weekend, or a couple weeks ago for you folks, but you can watch it at any time. That's the film that Ringo is going to shoot that has them on a deadline to complete that album.
Amazing that they all have a deadline because of Ringo. But
yeah. Hey, he proved to be like the coolest dude out of that whole thing. Like it was. Right. It was amazing. Lynn, our director, he is director of Captain Scarlet. He also did these two movies.
Wait, hold on. What about Pamela Stevenson?
We're getting to her last because she's the special.
Oh,
one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So Code 7. He did these two films, Code 7, Victim 5, and Mozambique, and they're this like James Bond knockoff series, like very Jess Franco-esque James Bond knockoffs. They did the Saint. His second unit directing, though, he was a second unit director on Superman 2 and this show. He did a lot of space. So this was like his graduation, was directing an episode. he was the second unit director on Dracula AD 1972 and the original horror of Dracula for Hammer, and street cred, third assistant director on Black Narcissus. So he's got a solid little career here. I don't know if he brings any of it to Space 1999, where he has been bringing it week to week to week with the second unit stuff. All right. So Pamela Stevenson, she was a Saturday Night Live cast member in season 10. That was 1984 to 85 years, which that's the Piscopo era. So yeah.
She was the woman who seduced Superman.
Yes,
Superman
Lorelai.
3.
Lorelai from Superman 3. He has those moments with her. Yeah.
But before she was on SNL, she was on the Nuts to 9 o'clock news comedy show with Rowan Atkinson and all those guys before she got picked up by SNL in the 80s.
Yeah, she's a New Zealander. And she was had a part in History of the World Part 1. So this is a big get, like, for us watching here. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. Did not know she was going to appear. I love that.
Very cool. Very young in this too. Much younger than I'd ever seen her in anything before.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is like 76. So
yeah.
So yeah, this is before she would lift off into the things we recognize her from. This was this one. The air date of it was November 25th, 1976. Dang, we are like almost on that date there with it. So this one begins with while Michelle Osgood waits in medical center, her husband is in the catacombs beneath the lunar surface looking for terranium, a mineral needed for the artificial heart to save his wife.
Let's start about with, all right, rolling up my sleeves here. Let's start off with Patrick Osgood here, okay?
Okay.
He's down in the mines underneath Space 1999 or the moon base. I wanted to say, first of all, we have another of those signs that only say one thing that blinks in this episode. So that's a trope that we've been going through. So I just wanted to mention it. But he's down there in these caves looking for this terranium or whatever to save his wife. But he doesn't, like, he's down there with some other guys in the very beginning.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they're all like, well, if we do that, it's all going to cave in. We're all going to die, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, no, I'm going to do it. I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, yeah, let's not, just disregard safety or, protocol or explosions or anything like that. We're just going to go do it. Let's just go do it. Go on. That's how mining gets done.
Yeah. Well, the terranium will help this artificial heart to save his wife. And like he uses an excessive amount of explosives to like blow this stuff up.
He blows the hell out of it. It's like Atlanta Dairy Queen all over the place. But this is when we first start seeing his visions, right?
Which are fucking sick.
Well, wait a minute. So he explodes.
Yeah.
And he passes out. Yep. And all of a sudden, we're on the set of Manos, The Hands of Fate. If you're familiar with that movie. Just like a black nothingness, okay? And then there's a canopy bed, with like a full like sash over it or whatever. And there's Pamela Stevenson laying in this Victorian canopy bed, surrounded by fire, in a ring of fire. And he's like, I'm coming for you, Michelle. It's all like in slow motion.
Like the Lost Bonnie Tyler video.
Mm-hmm. There's a bed on fire, a blonde lady in the bed. He yells at her. There's no sound. Okay, I mean, that's where
it's kind of cool. It's kind of I thought
more dark shadows than Space 1999. Though.
yeah. Oh, that totally. This fire they did apparently raged out of control, and they wound up having to close down production for 2 days because of this.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Great.
So
it was so worth it.
For the love of visions. Yeah. So there's some stuff's going around. There's like a little bit of pandemonium going on inside Alpha. Osgood is a few he's a few crackers shy of a full sleeve here. Something I'm really wondering, like, through this whole episode is why they're letting him run around. Okay, yeah, they let
he's
him
like blowing crap up. He's like, can't find the terranium. I'm gonna go yell at Helena for a while. And he gets in Helena's face because Helena can't make this like artificial heart out of like this aquarium pump she has, right?
Right.
So, the aquarium pump heart's not working. So he goes up there. No, I've seen visions of fire. Only the faith in my visions will save my wife. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, first of all, is this guy like an anti-vaxxer or something? Is he a MAGA hat? What's going on?
He like,
and then the second thing I think is
temperature in the place too. That's his way to spite them.
Yeah.
Bring the heat.
Right. And then he's like, your science hasn't saved my wife. Blah, 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 and it's just like, why is he letting this guy run around? Like he's obviously a danger to himself and others, right?
Right.
And like as the episode goes on, it gets worse and worse, and they keep letting him run around.
Yeah. So, well, there's like these people when they're going to rescue him from the thing below that these guys they're running back or walking through the halls, and they have I want to be like, excuse me, sir, do you happen to work in engineering? Because like they have the word engineering printed on the back suit of their suits, like complete dorks. Just like
safety crew too. They have safety on their thing as well. Yeah. I liked, by the way, Helena's a logo tree at the beginning of this episode. I know I'm kind of like jumping around a little bit here, but that happens right after the scene we're talking
about.
Right. So I hope it's not too far off. But Helena says it's been 1196 days, and her exposition is almost like, the top stories on Alpha today are
right.
It's like the top stories in Alpha today are the blonde lady needs a new heart. We need terranium to get the heat down, and this guy is having visions of Alpha and I'll go explode in fire.
Right. There's a
So that's today's news.
Yeah. So yeah, like Helen is like trying to like level with this guy. Like, hey, what if we can make an artificial heart without terranium? He's like, no, you cannot. And
only my faith will save my wife.
Yeah, she holds like this like schematic up for him or whatever, and like it's like it looked like a battery or like a circuit board for like an early like 90s like handheld game. You know, like if you didn't have a Game Boy, you were stuck with that thing. Like,
right, like a Tiger Electronics.
Yes, yeah, like nobody wanted it.
Thanks, Grandma.
It
like says Space Invaders on it.
Right. So like he gets all pissed, and I have this like, your medical science, your advanced quackery is no substitute for the truth. Only faith can outface death. And he like scoffs off. And I was like, this is the faith versus science episode, isn't it?
It seems to be. And he is like just out of hand though, man.
Yeah.
He gets really on to Helena as the episode goes on. I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. Tony gets top billing among the other cast this time. Yeah. And then Sienna Merton is back.
Yeah, Sandra is back. Yes. I got excited when I saw her. I was like, yeah, Sandra's back. Yeah. So after that dude like scoffs out, like Helena asks John to release some terranium to use in her next attempt to like fix this heart, and he refuses, saying they can't spare it during this crisis situation, but he has faith that Helena will prevail.
No, it's like, well, can't help you. Bye now.
Yeah, well, this is your episode, Barbara. I'm out.
And he gives Tony command in his absence. Like Maya and Helena are all standing right there. But no, it's the 70s. We're gonna give it to Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Tony's got it.
Yeah, Tony's like having difficulty accepting the Patrick guy's visions. And this
evidently Tony was the best man at this dude's wedding. He says that as part of it, right?
Oh, I missed that. He did.
Yeah, Tony's like, I was the best man at your wedding. You can trust me, buddy. I'm like, whoa, because this guy's insane.
I love when they do the thing where they like try to make a rando for an episode important with something like that, with just the line like, I was the best man at your wedding.
Right.
Oh gosh.
It's just funny because like Tony snaps at Sandra. Like the first scene we see back of Sandra is Tony snapping at her. Like before he talks to Koenig, and Koenig is out of there, I guess, on a reconnaissance mission to find out why everything's getting so hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Right, yeah. The heat waves,
fly around blindly in space, looking around.
So, so
that's how that works.
So they can film an episode with him at the same time as they're filming this. That's why.
So as the place is getting hotter, Osgood's like, see, I told you. And we get that new medical guy who's like super sarcastic.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking about how he's like, they switched out the medical guys. Mm-hmm. This one's like, oh, well, that'll work. Gee.
Right.
I'm like, dang. I turned down the sass a little bit, bud.
Right. And then, like Tony and Patrick get in a fight, and like Maya has to like, she walks by and like transforms into a dog and gets the gun from like Patrick's hand, and he runs off. But like, I was like,
I like the scene right before this, though, where Tony's in the hyper explosive room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, the room says "Warning: Explosives" on the door, and you open it up, it looks like an office, like storage closet or something.
Yeah,
and he goes out of his way. Hey, be careful with that; it could blow up. Hey, he says stuff like that like 2 or 3 times, And then Osgood comes up and says, "Hey, watch it! You might blow those up." It's like, okay, we got to check off. Put your gun down. All right,
put it down. Well, I love that Maya, like, for being like this alien that can turn into anything, like she sure turns into a lot of earthbound, like human known things.
For not being from Earth or anything.
Right. Sure does turn. And it's funny, like both her scenes, I noticed this one and the the one we're going to talk about next time were filmed at the same time, and you can tell how they got around. Like, so Maya, both her like scenes in this are just her by herself walking around a corner, seeing some action and transforming.
Right.
So like
She's
they had her
that
like
space, she has that space mini dress in this episode because it's so hot. So
right.
A little something for the men and some of the ladies too.
Yeah, there you go. Something for everybody right there with Maya. I put that. Yeah, it is getting hot and sweaty on Alpha, and so are the outfits.
Bow wow.
Right. So,
but like Osgood like runs away after this, right?
Yeah, he runs down the hall. Yeah, but they find him unconscious.
Runs off.
Yeah, they find him. They find him unconscious in the medical center, and he wakes up and tells Helena that he's wired himself as a human explosive and demands that she bandage his arm and take him to his wife. And Tony and Helena try to convince him that she'll die without a new heart, but he's certain only his faith can save her. And he calls Michelle, and Helena tells him that Michelle is sedated and can't hear him, but she wakes at the sound of his voice.
Now, wait a minute. Let me ask something real quick. There's a few scenes, right, where she's like under.
Yep.
Like she's sleeping or whatever, and they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can they talk to each other in their dreams in this?
I don't know.
She doesn't seem like to remember what they say. So I'm like wondering, is this deep, affectionate love or just psychotic obsession? I can't tell. You know what I mean? Because he could be making all this up in his head, right? Mm-hmm. And there's the part where they're like, okay, well, where did he go? Okay, well, he's an explosives expert, and there's an explosives room right here in the direction he went. Let's not look there. Let's not look there. No, that makes no sense at all. They have all these sentries all looking around like, oh, he's going to come back here for his wife. But, they don't think to look in the place where he would most likely be. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's really funny. And I love that they keep testing the heart over and over and it keeps breaking. Yeah. And it's literally just an aquarium pump they're putting to a VU meter.
Right. Well,
with a sound effect,
Right. There was also a moment where the your line about being the best man, the other guy's he did something and it was a really bad delivery. He's like, easy, Tony, old buddy. I was like, oh, it was just the way it felt so forced.
Right. Tony,
easy,
old
Tony,
chum that wasn't
old
here
buddy.
last season.
Right. And then so we check in on Koenig just to let you know he's still there. He's in a ship and he finds a heat wave, but he has a shit fit at the guy he's piloting with. The guy goes, "Hey, what a cloud!" And he goes, "No need to state the obvious."
Koenig's having a rough day. He's out in the Eagle all by himself, and he's missing out on Helena and Maya walking around in miniskirts. He's bumming.
Right. He's got he's like, I'm out looking at this wave of heat stuff. Back to you, Helena. And
Helena's like, give us the terranium. And Cody's like, can't hear you. Signal breaking up.
Right.
Sorry, I can't solve your moral dilemma.
Yeah, well, Tony decides to let her have it, figuring they may not survive anyway. Heads down the catacombs to find Patrick and Michelle back. And there's a guy with Tony, there's a guy that goes, "Hey, Tony, I'd even settle for a beer." Bringing back up that he's a brewer.
Continuity.
That's the only character trait that Tony has. I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
Kind of dig it.
He flirts really poorly and he makes beer.
He can't carry a scene, but he sure can carry a pint.
I hope so. Because everybody's got to have a talent, right?
Right. It's nice he has something. So the Patrick and Michelle take off down the catacombs. Michelle's too.
A lot of good jazz. A lot of good jazz in this sequence.
Yes.
A lot of bongos and a lot of wah-wah guitar. I like when something's happening in this show, they'll bring in that jazz music. It's really fun. Different than what you're used to, for action sequence, I guess, in a sci-fi show. Yeah.
Right. No, true. Helena ends up being able to make the heart, and she's like, "Yeah, get Michelle back here, please. We can do this." and Tony gets deeper in the catacombs, and Tony, like Patrick, forces his wife to keep moving, increasing the strength, pummel the surface of the moon. Tony manages to catch up with the Osgoods, but Patrick knocks out their flashlight. Like he throws this rock at them that I laughed. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes, he's unable to follow in the dark. Tony summons Maya, figuring she will be able to see in the dark, so she turns into a tiger. I'm like, well, that's
I wanted to mention as a codicil to what you were saying before, when she doesn't turn into an Earth animal, she always turns into a super specific alien with a super specific ability.
Right.
Right? Like in the next episode we're going to talk about, that happens as well. Foreshadowing. But yeah, it's the alien who poops gold, that we need.
Yeah, we need that
whatever.
gold. But yeah, there's a line delivery from Tony that was awful here too. He says something like, "That's another thing I like about you. You're always upbeat." And I'm like, man, it was a clever line where it was at, and he's like, he could not deliver it. Like they were giving this guy something nice, and he Tony'd it up.
I know, it's like that's like a T-ball line, and he whiffed it.
Right. But she keeps Patrick away from Michelle so Tony can get her out. The cave collapses on Patrick as shockwaves get worse on the lunar surface. Tony has 2 security guards bring Michelle to medical center while he remains to unbury Patrick. And then we get sci-fi heart implant surgery, which it's a success.
Scalp.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very quick though. I was surprised.
Laser scalpel.
Usually this kind of thing, they extend that out a lot.
Right.
But it wasn't really too bad this time.
No. But yeah, her vital signs are weak though. They question her chance of survival. Tony brings Patrick in on a stretcher. When she sees him, they immediately know that she will be fine. And the fire.
She had Padme's disease, dude.
Yeah. She had
She had Padme's disease. She had lost the will to live without her love. That's all that is. While watching, I'm like, oh my god, this is where they got the idea to kill off Natalie Portman.
That's right. Yeah, it came from space, 1999.
God damn it, George Lucas, you son of a bitch!
You brilliant son of a bitch, you. So in the epilogue, Helena and Tony discuss how Patrick was able to predict the firestorm. Helena theorizes that the stress on Patrick may have made him receptive to an intelligence in the firestorm. Helena thanks John for the tranium, telling him that it saved Michelle Osgood's life, who we'll never see again. John starts to balk, but realizes that all's well that ends well. Laughingly just goes with it. Helena welcomes him back with a big smile, and he has like this creepy smile on that screen.
Oh my god!
Like, ooh.
They always try for these like little jokey stinger at the ends of the second season episodes, and they almost never land.
No, they're all weird.
They're like, yeah, it's like, I'm so staged. I can't keep stage laughing. Someone help me.
Like, wah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that it's funnier, about as funny as a crutch.
Right.
What they usually say anyway. So.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was a interesting one here. Something a bit different. Got to see some skimpy clothes on those Alphans.
That guy, I don't know. Like after the first 5 minutes, I'm just like, why are they letting him run around? Why don't they lock him up? They should put him somewhere away where he's not going to hurt anybody,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see Sandra back though.
Yeah, Sandra was nice, even though she was not like an integral part to the episode. But hey,
all she did was have Tony yell at her. But whatever.
Even though anytime we get a season 1 veteran, it's exciting. I'm there for it. But that'll do it for another Moonbuggy adventure. In the meantime, Jim, where can people keep up with you?
Well, every week you can catch me on Nothing's On the Taylor Network of Podcast.com with Donnie Salvo and Daryl Taylor. We look at a week's worth of entertainment, movie, and TV news and what we've been watching, and a bunch of emails from our listeners. We have a very lively crowd. That's every week on the Taylor Network of Podcast.com. At hhwlod.com, you can check out the Walking Dead TV podcast. Right now we're covering Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond, which is coming to its series finale next week. So we've been following since the beginning, and you can follow along with us. Check that out at hhwlod.com.
All right. Hashtag Tony on tap. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at BrandonForkeyUHD. Written work at whysoblue.com. There is more from the Brandon Peters Show this very week. But until then,
Alpha out.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.